session, I'm going to cover arguments and what is arguments and how to manage arguments and how to use arguments. Okay, so those are the three topics I'm going to cover today. And first, I'm going to cover what is arguments. Okay, go to your UiPath Studio, open it, and create a new process that is all about arguments. UiPath arguments. UiPath arguments, and here you can add your process description. This is this process about arguments. Okay, then click on create. Okay, then click on open main workflow, and first you should understand what is arguments. Okay, so we have seen what is variables, and you all know we can create a variables in the variable panel and the property panel in the specific activities. Okay, and also that particular variable we can call it only within a workflow. Okay, let's say if I created this assume that this is a workflow 1. This is assume that this is a workflow 1. So if you create a variable here, and you can access that particular variable only within this workflow, and if you create another sequence, okay, that is the workflow 2, and that particular variable, so which you created in the first workflow, the variable which you cannot call from this to this workflow 2. Okay, so that is the reason we have other option called arguments. Okay, so here you see arguments. So we use arguments to pass values from one workflows to other workflow. Okay, that is a very simple definition. So what is arguments? Argument we use to pass value from one workflow to another workflow. Okay, that is a simple definition. And now I'm going to show you how to manage arguments. So we saw that in variables and how to manage variables, and also how to create variables, how to delete variables, how to add annotations. So a lot of things we covered, right? The same thing we are going to cover it here also. What is arguments? I mean, how to manage arguments. Okay, so first how to create, let's see how to create arguments. Okay, so there are several the same steps to create arguments. Either you can go to argument panel, so go to argument panel and click here in this name column, and you can add your argument. Let's say here you need to make sure that, so as you know, argument is a type of it's also a variable. It's a transferring data from one workflow to another workflow. Let's say you are in the workflow 1, and you have to pass data from here to here, in the sense that is the out, because you are taking some values from this workflow and you are going to pass it to this workflow 2. That is the reason this is out. Okay, let me say out. Okay, out underscore let's say username. Okay, username, and then direction. There is a direction in out property. Okay, so in means, so if you are if you are getting some values from other workflow to other workflow to here, and you can use direction in. So now I am going to pass but some values from this workflow to this workflow, then I am using out direction. Okay, my argument type is string. So the same whatever applicable for variables, the same here also applicable. So if your value here in the first workflow, if it is a string, and you need to create the same argument here also to get it. Okay, the same data type should be there in the workflow 1, workflow 2. You can create your argument in the argument panel here. Okay, the other place where we can create our arguments, let's say I'm going to drag and drop one more assign activity. Okay, and here go to you can create it here. So let's say in the activity itself, go here, press Control M. Okay, Control M. I put in underscore employee something. Okay, then you see the direction automatically added as a in. Okay, the shortcut for creating here it is Control M. Okay, then the other place where we can create arguments. So let me drag and drop one more assign activity and go to property panel to this in this variable panel. Okay, and click here, or else click this. Okay, and make it this expression window big and press Control Shift M. Okay, so to create an argument, you can either use Control M or Control Shift M. Control M for you can automatically the direction. If you use Control M, the direction will be automatically taken as a in. If you use Control Shift M, the direction automatically added as a out. Okay, let's say Control Shift M. I'm going to write, I know this is out, then I'm going to add the out underscore first name, enter it. See here, there is a argument created with the out direction. So this is another way. Okay, so you can create your arguments from your argument panel, and also you can create the other way, you can create it in the activity itself, and the third way you can create it in the property panel. Okay, in the property panel you can use either Control M or Control Shift M. Okay, and the same. So now you know how to create arguments and how to change direction and all, and how to change argument type also. Here the same thing. So if you want if you consider this as a variable, if you want to convert this as a variable, you can convert it using this convert to variables. Okay, and the other thing is, if you want to copy this particular argument line, you can copy this. Let's say I'm going to pass this username. Let's say here I have a username. Let me delete all this. Okay, and here I have a out username. Okay, not out first name, out username, and here there is a username called UiPath. Okay, and I want to transfer this particular value from workflow 1 to this, right? Then I need this same variable name, the direction should be in, and the argument type should be same type. Whatever here in the string, the argument type should be same. So here no need to go and create it manually, and do one thing, and just right click on this argument and copy this and go here and right click this and paste it. Now you know that here you are taking the value and storing into this argument and going out to the, with the value, and here you are coming in into this workflow. Okay, then I'm changing this direction in because you need that particular value in. Then here I can change it as a in for my purpose, which means for my identification. I should know that here the value is coming from somewhere else. That is the reason I added in user name. Okay, then again go to the workflow 1 and right click on the argument name, and here you can delete it. If you don't want this, you can delete it selecting that particular argument, and the same design properties. So let's say if I want to add tooltip, you can add tooltip here. So to store username. Okay, you can add tooltip. So adding tooltip is mandatory. So while you creating your projects, okay, and then yeah, you can add it here, and also you can copy, and also you can find reference. So if you click find reference, and it will show you where that particular argument is used in this workflow. Okay, it's all about how to manage arguments. Okay, and now I'm going to cover how to transfer this. Okay, I have this argument with me, and how to transfer this value to this workflow. So let's say I'm going to delete all this. Okay, and also you can, if you want to delete the unused arguments, and go to remove unused option under the designer panel, and click on arguments. Okay, here, and then if you click on it, and you will see there is a argument available in employee age and out first name, and these are the arguments which is not used in this workflow. And then if you want delete it, then yes, you can click OK, and those arguments will be deleted. Okay, okay, fine. So now you have a out username with a UiPath value. Okay, and you are taking out with the value, and here the same variable you have with the indirection. Okay, so let me add a right line here, and add this in username. Okay, and now here I have a value, here I have another argument. Okay, but how to connect both? Okay, then go to main. So usually how we used to connect. So in real-time project we used to create, yes, lot of sequence, in the sense we used to split our process. Okay, so let's say I'm going to build a bot which is cover emails. Okay, and Outlook, sorry, emails and Excel and some web application. So what I will do, and I'm going to create a one workflow to handle Excel kind of Excel operations, and I'm going to create another workflow to handle web interaction, and then another workflow I can create it for email notification and all. So we created separate workflow, but since there is a possibility, and we have to pass one workflow input to, I mean output to the other workflow, right, as a input. So now at the end what we will do in the main page. Okay, I told you, right, the main page always we need to invoke. This is the place where we can invoke all the workflows, so arranging all the sub workflows. Okay, then go to your project panel, just drag and drop workflow 1 XAML. Okay, so this will be automatically added, this invoke workflow, or else go to activity panel, and there is a invoke workflow file activity. Okay, drag and drop this, and then go to this folder, browse folder, then select workflow 1. Okay, this is the another way. Let me delete this, and you can easily drag and drop like this. Okay, now you have a two workflow. Okay, and click on import arguments, and there is a out username. Okay, and again here click on import arguments in the second workflow. Here you see in username there is a indirection, but so if you click here import argument, here the value is empty. Okay, and if you click here this particular argument, here the value also empty. Okay, now what I do, so I know the workflow 1 contains value, I stored into out username, and so this out username contains a value UiPath. Now I want to store somewhere else, right? Either you can create a variable here in the main page, let's say user name, and the variable type is string only. Okay, so go to import argument and call this variable user name. Okay, now the value of UiPath taken from the workflow 1 and stored into this out argument, and passing the direction as a out and storing into this username variable which is available in the main page. Okay, then click on OK. Now once you execute the first, this workflow it's going to execute, right? So then what it will do, then it will execute, it will our bot, no, it will go here, it will execute this assign activity, and it will store this UiPath value into this argument. Then it's coming out to main again, then it's going here. Okay, before going here, our the value UiPath stored into this variable, right? Then again we can pass it to this workflow. You can click on import argument and you can pass it here. Okay, this is very simple definitions. Like, I can say that you are taking the output from this first workflow and you are transferring to this username in the which is available in the main page, and then again you are passing to this workflow. Like, assume that it's like acting as a middleman. Okay, and click on OK. Now I'm going to execute this, see how it's executing, and go to debug and step into, click step into, and you see first the workflow 1 it's going to execute, it's automatically open the page. Okay, open the module, and then again step into, it's going to execute the assign activity, and yeah, it's done. The out username, the argument stored the UiPath value, and then it execute it, and you see it's came out and it's in the main page. Now the value which the UiPath transfer to this username variable. Okay, then again step into, now the value which is available UiPath in the username, what we have done it. So that same value we are passing inside this workflow, right, to workflow, and click step into, and step into, see here it's printed UiPath. So this is how we used to pass the value from one workflow to another workflow. There are three points you should remember it. One is you need to create an argument, write argument, whether you want to transfer value or whether you want to bring the value from another workflow. So that's the direction you should make it here, and that is also for the other workflow. And the third one is we need to create a variable, the common variable, to transfer from this workflow to this workflow. Okay, so this is all about arguments.